Today's guest made 15,000 euros in just a week.
You mentioned that you earned 15,000 euros in just a week. You showed me the screenshot. In just a week, bro?
If you want to make money, you need to find out one thing that people want or need.
He was born in Hamburg, Germany. For the past 6 years, he's been working in the sales and marketing industry, working for multiple companies.
Build something that they want, which is called a product or a service, and then go out there and tell them, hey, I have something. You should take it. It's good.
He started his school community called AMQ Sales Academia, a private space for ambitious closers and entrepreneurs who want to master the art of turning conversations into cash.
I remember we met on X. I think I reached out or you reached out.
No, I was reaching out. I remember we were in a space together and people had the opportunity to cold pitch their business. And I remember you cold pitched your business and I was like, damn, I gotta write that, boy.
He's been selling door to door, he's been selling through the phone, he's been selling real estate services, marketing billboards, NGO contracts, and he have his own companies.
So if I ask you, Shyrel, I'm someone who's quite confident in the fact that you'll be one day a very rich man. Will you be willing to pay 250,000 for a Lamborghini?
This guy can literally sell anything. Oskar Schiermeister.
First of all, I want to know more about you, bro. So we know each other, but not so much. Okay, bro. So the first thing that I want to know is, who is Oskar and what was your childhood like?
Well, that's a heck of a question. I would say Oskar is the man who speaks, who talks to people. If you would ask my friends who I am, I'm always the weird guy, but that just in a positive way, because I have all the crazy ideas, you know. My friends are usually the ones who bring the structure, and I'm the one who bring the crazy part, the stuff that makes life exciting, the new ideas. Also, I try to get my friends a lot of times to try some new stuff instead of staying on their ass and doing repeatedly what they're doing day in and day out. Yeah, for childhood one, man, that's a question. I mean, we could go into that for hours. I would say I had a very good childhood. I mean, with the casual complications, you know. It's an interesting thing. I don't know. Did you grow up in the city or did you grow up in a village, or something in between?
I actually grew up in a city, so it's not here right now. It's in Cavite. It's like 7 hours drive from here.
Oh, I see.
I think 6 hours. And yeah, I was born there. And I came to Singapore, and that's where I spent my childhood, in Singapore.
Crazy. So you definitely know too what it is like to grow up in the city, you know, always bustling with life. Always something happening. You never get bored, but also you also never get a chance to calm down and to take a break from it, considering that everything is happening simultaneously there.
So you grew up in a city or a village?
No, I grew up in a city in Hamburg in Germany. It's the second biggest city of Germany, just after Berlin, the capital, which is in the east. I grew up in Hamburg, which is the north, and I can tell you, by far the most beautiful city in Germany. I have a few other people from other cities who would kill me for that, but I'm staying with my opinion that Hamburg is the most beautiful city in Germany, besides in the winter. Don't come if you ever want to come here. Don't come here in the winter. It's cold, it's rainy, and it's gray. But now in March, beautiful. It's warming up again, and the sun is coming out. Wonderful, beautiful city. And actually, I think it's. I know it's not in the face or in mind of most of the people who are out there when they think about Germany, but I think it's like the 28th. I saw it in a statistic, it was years ago, 28th biggest city when it comes to economy and critical infrastructure. But don't take my word on this. I'm sure I saw it on a statistic, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, so you told me not to come there in the winter, but actually, as Filipinos, we really like the cold weather because if you go out, it's really, really warm. So that's why in our rooms we always have this air conditioner, and yeah, it's really, really warm outside, bro. So we really want the cold weather.
That's
So for you, you're used to the cold weather, so you would wanna come here to the Philippines.
But I
Yeah.
think I think when you look at humans from different places, like if it's the Philippines or if it's Germany or even Scandinavia or Africa, I think they're all happy at a balanced out point, like in the Mediterranean, like Italy, where they have like up to 30, 35 degrees in the summer, and
Yeah.
to bottom, I don't know, I've never been in the winter in Italy, but bottom like 10 degrees. Like so good balance. I always say the perfect weather for me is like 25 degrees with no wind. Even though I love wind, but that's another story.
Yeah, so we are really indifferent on the other side of the world. So yeah, I'm gonna proceed with the next question. So
Please, please.
I just want to know, bro. How you are? I always see your tweets on X, and you're really an expert in sales.
Hmm.
So I just want to know, how did you become like a good sales guy? How did you get into sales?
Yeah. I mean, I guess with most guys who come to sales, it either starts with one of 2 points. It is they want to make money quick or they want to understand why girls don't like them. And for me, it was the second point. So I think it started already when I was like 14, 15, and I was a guy, I was bullied in school and therefore always on the side of the non-liked people, doesn't matter if it's girls or guys. So I just wanted to get an understanding of what it means to get people to like you and to understand why people like you and how to get people to like you. So I just started out when I was 16, I guess, to just start to watch videos on psychology, casual stuff, the quotes, the 10-minute videos about 3 super steps to get great at psychology and understanding people and communication. Which, I mean, I educated myself quite well, I say, for the time, but I really got into selling when I was 18, when I started my first company with a friend. It was, I think, in October 2018, where we started our social media marketing agency, classical stuff. So social media as a service, we did social media for other companies, where he took the place or he took the part of doing the actual work as a social media manager, and my job was the acquisition of new clients. So since I liked speaking to people directly, I went on multiple events, which usually got to a point where I just had about like this stack of business cards, which I then inputted into an Excel sheet to call them or mail them afterwards. And that was the place where I made my first like real life practical sales experience, and it was quite interesting for me to see because like I had about 2 years of prior education and theoretical knowledge. I learned more in 8 months of practical application of this knowledge and speaking directly to people than in this 2 years of prior education. Yeah, but to be honest, it was not the most successful company because, well, you're 18, you're just starting out.
Yeah.
But I mean, for quite some time, we were able to sustain our lives. But I mean, it was also pre-inflation, so small amounts of money could help out. But to be honest, the practical education and experience that I got from it was very nice. Um, just after that, I had another company in which I didn't necessarily sell, but where I was the primary communicating I don't want to say manager, but the communicator between one business and our business was basically an idea of OnlyFans without the sexual part. Um, yeah. And then afterwards, I've worked in real estate. So for a Swiss real estate company called Better Homes, you can still find them. They're still quite big. And in there, I did the casual job, acquiring new mandates. So people who wanted to sell their real estate, doesn't matter if it were houses, apartments, business or private, and if they just wanted to rent it out and to or to sell it directly. So I basically just called people. We had a list of possible clients that the office gave us previously, and I just called them. I had a booklet, a little book with a paper presentation that I would flip through when I was meeting the potential clients, the prospects, the leads, and yeah, then was basically selling the real estate on the market, like putting them up on all the platforms. As you might imagine, quite the boring job. I guess when I started out in that company, I had the Netflix shows in mind about the millionaires who made lots of money with real estate, but it's actually a very boring, generic job. But that's, I guess, just how it is. Mm, yeah, that went on for quite a while, but didn't work out because I'm a very emotional guy, and if something doesn't work for me at all, I can't do it. So I need to have some emotional attachment to it, and I need to be at least a bit emotionally interested in something. Um, Therefore, it didn't work out. But the experience that I have, it was the first time where I spoke with people who wanted to sell something or buy something for high amounts of money. So I've sat at tables where people were talking about like millions and millions of euros for selling their house, selling their apartment, and so on. Um, Afterwards, I think the next one was in door to door. So basically, I started out in a door to door company called Activate, and what we were doing, we were traveling around the country. So we had
Yeah.
like we booked houses, like the company booked houses for us. We stayed there, and every day little teams of us would drive with cars into villages, and we were just ringing at doorbells and then selling contracts for NGO brands, for like example the red noses, clowns for children with cancer. They basically would go into hospitals and make good time for the kids. And I also worked for UNICEF, um, which was an interesting time because that was the first time where I came into contact with pressure in sales, like very heavy pressure, and also numbers game. So in a day of maybe 8 hours, we would knock on 150 doors and repeating the same script ever and ever and ever again. And it is quite interesting because I remember, since it was in the middle of COVID, we had these mats, like little carpets that were red, that
Yeah.
were 1.5 meters long, which we had to roll out in front of the door in order to keep the safety distance from the people who were opening the door. So we looked like mad people, and we had to do like crazy stuff. I was always saying, or if I remember my first sentence was, "Don't worry, we're not Jehovah's Witnesses." That got them a quick laugh. Yeah, that job was very interesting, especially during COVID, because we were in the houses, working at day, drinking at night, and you can imagine what happens in a group of 20 to 25-year-old people who have some form of group connection in the middle of a global pandemic. So that was quite interesting. I also, we had branches in in different bigger cities in Germany, and we had one branch here in Hamburg, where I live, where we basically did the same job, but we didn't go into the villages. We basically went door to door in our big city, and that worked out quite well. That was the first time where I worked in an educational position, where I became the sales manager of the company. Well, not the company, the branch in Hamburg, and my job was basically to train the other salespeople in going door to door. We had like, I think when I became a salesman, like 30 to 40 people. And my job was basically, yeah, to make normal people to sales professionals. I think I was working there for about a year, and I was actually one of the best salesmen in that company. Therefore, I also became the sales manager. I sold in the course of a year multiple four-figure contracts, so between 1,000 and 3,000, I guess. I'm not quite sure.
What age you were at
At
that time?
21.
21.
21, exactly. So, yeah, 4 years ago. Um, and then, then the next job that I had where I was, no, before I went into another job, I actually had another company where I was shooting advertisement. So basically, for a client that was selling medical technology. I can't go into further detail here, but yeah, basically medical technology, where we were producing, I think it was 3 ads on a very, very, very high production level. So I basically booked the most expensive audio studio here in Hamburg. So for the people who don't know, I'm actually also a professional music producer and soundtrack composer.
Wow.
Um, and yeah, we booked high tech. It was a multi five-figure deal. Um, yeah, and that was the first time where I actually myself set up an entire business contract. So I was not just selling one contract. I was also making sure that we had the right people. I was making sure that we had the right equipment, that we had a storyboard, that we had everything that we needed, as well as the connection with the company. It was interesting because we were shooting, and every 1 or 2 days they were bringing us with new ideas. Hey, can you do this and can you do that? And my job was basically on one side to produce the audio, and on the other side to handle everything within the company. Yeah, the ads were very, very dope. Very good advertisement, which I'm quite proud of because I never did this before. I can see maybe I can send you some. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
there was 2022, and then in 2023 I was working the first time in high ticket sales. So contracts ranging from 5,000 to multiple six-figure deals, where I was selling space on billboards. So basically, if you go to an airport or to a train station, you know these advertisement screens where they show ads.
Yeah.
So my job was basically to call small to mid-sized companies and to sell them these spaces, ranging from 5,000 euro deals up to multiple six-figure deals. Exactly. And then I did this for quite a while, and now I'm here, helping people
Yeah.
to 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 become great at this wonderful skill too.
It's really an incredible skill. And you've been through a lot of jobs. So since you were 16,
Yeah.
you
So
were
nine
you
years
were
now.
starting into 9 years of experience in sales. So you've experienced a lot of things, you've learned a lot of stuff. That's why you're great at your craft. So, bro, when I was at your age, we're almost the same age. You're 25, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm turning 25 this May, so I'm just 24, but we're almost the same.
Yeah.
When I was 18, so you were really crushing it. When I was 18, I was just in school studying. I had a completely different mindset, and I was striving for good grades and all this stuff, just like the normal kids. So yeah, you literally crushed it, and now you're here. What was your biggest struggle on all those jobs you encountered? What was like the hardest job, and what was like your biggest struggle in your journey?
It's a very good question. Very good question. I can't really say that I had one big struggle because, as it is with progress, you start at one point, you have XYZ struggles. You have specific struggles which can be um, not being skilled at talking, to anxieties, to boredom for ringing at 150 doors or calling 250 people. So it was always changing. So obviously, when I started out, I had a lot of different problems that I was encountering, and then through time, I came to a point where it became easier and easier to do the work itself. But in general, I would say the longest issue or the longest problem that I have was, I would say, classical fear of failure. So I think I say there was probably the core issue that I had, um, but it showed different ways in different ways.
You were scared to like take risks back then?
Yeah, one could say so. It was basically a fear of fail. I guess I would say it's a fear of failure, um, which had different phases. Sometimes it would look like I'm scared to talk to strangers, because I'm scared that I embarrass myself. Sometimes it would be the fear of talking about price in a sales situation. Sometimes it was the fear to start something new and take a new risk. I'm quite proud that I still always did it. So I was scared, but I still did the call and I still set the price because I was always like, what else can I do? There is no other option.
You have
So
no
yeah,
choice.
yeah, I would say, even though it's a lot of different things, the most common thing or the most casual thing was the fear of failure, and mm, yeah, seen through different lenses.
Yeah, you were young. And when I was just starting out also in my journey, I was scared of failing, but all the self-help books, all the books I've read, all the podcasts I watched, they all helped me to embrace fear and to be able to like, just do it regardless of how I felt.
Yeah,
So yeah, we learn along the way.
100%,
So
100%. I mean,
yeah,
at the end, what is fear?
fear.
What is fear?
I have like a simple explanation for that. I've actually read a book. I'm thinking of Dan Locke, but it's not Dan Locke. It's really, the guy who's a bit old. He's like, oh yeah, Grant Cardone. You know him.
Grant Cardone, yeah, of course.
10 times rule,
Yeah,
10x rule, I think. That one I read, he said that fear stands for false events appearing real. So, fear for me is like, there are different types of fear. There is a fear that is natural in us humans because when we were, our ancestors back then, fear is like a self-defense mechanism. If there is a predator, you will experience fear. That's normal. But when it comes to like achieving your goals, that's a different type of fear. So for me, it doesn't exist when it comes to achieving your goals because it's just in your mind and it's just false events appearing real for me. That's just my definition of it. So there are two types. One is natural, the other one is just an illusion. So what do you think?
I always, when it comes to questions like this, like what is fear, I like to go back to the core point because fundamentally, fear is just a biochemical reaction in our mind and our body. So the way it works is we have basically three different mechanisms here. The first mechanism is the sensoric memory. So basically, we see something, feel something, taste something, smell something, or hear something that we that then is sent into our mind, into a part called the hypothalamus. I think it was the hypothalamus. And within the hypothalamus, that contains our short-term memory and long-term memory, and also I don't know the English word. I think it's like the working memory, which basically it takes the sensor and then researches in our mind through the folders of what is this? And sometimes it recognizes it as fear, as something that we don't like, that we already had in our past, and therefore then just sends signals into our amygdala, and our body will release cortisol and noradrenaline. That's it. So basically, you see something, your mind says you should be scared, and it releases chemicals. That's it. And the reason you're scared of certain things is that something in your mind and something in your past, some experience that are not directly the same but also tied to it, is telling you you should be cautious. So it's just chemistry. I mean, obviously,
Yeah,
if you
it's
see a
science.
exactly, if you see a tiger in the wild, fuck off. I mean,
Yeah.
be scared. That's fine. But like, if you sit there in front of a telephone, bro, the fact that you're scared is just your mind telling you, hey, you
In
had
your mind.
something, yeah, you had something there in the past that was kind of the same. So I'm sending you a bit fear hormones, all right? Do yourself a favor and don't do it. But that's not the case. As you said, it's not real. It's not reality.
Yeah.
The issue with that is that the only way you can surpass or overcome this fear is by still doing it. You need to show your
Yeah.
mind, gee, it's not a problem. And from my experience, it doesn't matter what you're thinking about. Nothing is ever as bad as you think. Nothing. Nothing is ever as bad as you think. So for all of you who are watching there and who are scared to talk to other people, it will never be as bad. Like when I was doing the calls, I did about within 1 year about 15,000 calls, and I think I had 10 people, 10, who called me an asshole. 10 out of 15,000. So you don't need to be scared. And if you are, you still need to do it, and you will find out it's not as hard as you think.
Yeah. That's a great way of explaining it. Explaining fear. So that's great. That is some great insights. So I remember we met on X. I think I reached out or you reached out.
No, I was reaching out. I remember we were in a space together, and people had the opportunity to cold pitch their business. And I remember you cold pitched your business, and I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, and I was like, damn, I gotta write that boy. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I just heard your
Actually,
pitch, and I was like, yeah, that guy.
yeah. That's the thing, bro. At that time, I was literally scared to death to speak in a big crowd with lots of people. But Justin, he's the host of that space. He's my friend. I think at that time he told me to just speak, even though your pitch is trash. So okay, I spoke, and it was a bit. I don't know, man. It's not a great pitch actually, and after that he reached out, and some people reached out, gave me advice, and now I improved. And I met you, bro, and I literally saw your name, that you were like the clone of Elon Musk,
Yeah.
and I thought it was real, man. I thought you were like his son.
No,
So
I'm a more
yeah.
beautiful version. Yeah, but
And
you see there,
yeah, go on.
you've been in a space, and you did a shit pitch, and the outcome was you found a guy for a podcast and other friends that helped you out. So even the worst pitch
Yeah,
gets you something, especially in an environment like spaces.
I embraced the fear, which is an
Exactly.
illusion. You see?
Well,
So yeah,
it's a biochemical process. It's not necessarily an illusion, but um, it's a deception. So your mind tells you it is
that's a great
something
term.
that it's not. It's basically your mind is deceiving you of something.
Yeah. So as we spoke, um, we like hopped into like 3 video calls, right? And I think on the first video call you mentioned that I was amazed actually. You mentioned that you earned like 15,000 euros in just a week. You showed me the screenshot, and I was literally amazed because 15,000 euros is like, I think it's like, is it $12,000? Something like that,
Don't
right? So
ask. Yeah,
it's,
it's around that, like
yeah,
12 to.
yeah.
I think right now it's quite kind of the same.
So it's really, it's really a big amount of money. So in just a week, bro, how did you convince someone to pay you that much?
First, you need to understand that price is always perception. So what for someone seems like a lot of money is not a lot for someone else. And the cause of what it is used for is also a thing. So if I ask you, Shyrel, I'm someone who is quite confident in the fact that you'll be one day a very rich man. Um, will you be willing to pay 250,000 for a Lamborghini if you have the money?
Of course.
Yeah, you see, that's a lot of money. Do you think Lamborghini will be at a point where they say, "Oh my God, they just sent me, he just sent us $250,000"? I don't think so. So what I want to say with that is never have the mindset that what someone is giving you is a lot if the price is right. And consider the following things. How much value are you bringing the person? How much money are you bringing the person? What is commonly charged on the market? And how much do you actually want? And then 15,000, which was, by the way, 50% of what the deal was. So it's only half of it. Um, if you can provide the value, everyone will happily pay you the money. So I got in contact with the right people, the ones who had the money, the ones who needed something, the ones who gained the trust in me. That's a big one. People need to trust you that you don't misuse their money. And then you need to present them something where they think that will bring us what we want. Et voila, they will send you as much money as you want. If trust is given, and if the mindset is given that they think that you will give them what they need or what they want. All
Did
again,
you meet your client on X
no, it was network.
in Germany?
Yes. Well, it was international, but um, through someone that I knew personally in Germany, but the client was actually overseas. Not overseas, still in Europe, but yeah.
Is that a lot of money to you, or is it like average?
Um, yeah, let's say I'm not at a place where I want to be, but 15,000 is it's a good amount. It's a good amount of money. You can do a lot of different things with it.
Yeah, you
It solves a lot
I
of
think you
financial
can.
problems, but there's a lot of there's a big space above it.
Yeah, it's not the freedom money. It's a lot, but it's not. You won't have financial freedom with 15,000 euros.
It depends where you live, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah, if here in the Philippines, I think that's around almost 1 million pesos.
I think
So
it's
you
still,
can buy one brand new car here
yeah.
with that money.
I, I still think it's incredibly funny that your currency is pesos, like in like in
Why,
Mexico.
bro?
Yeah, because the
You told me
peso
that
is
before.
because the peso is Spanish from Mexico. Not Spanish, but it's
Yeah.
like I don't know who got it first, the Mexicans or the Philippines, but it's just kind of interesting in my opinion that you have the
Oh, you,
peso.
you don't know the history
No.
of Philippines and Spain.
Oh, they have a history.
Yeah, because Spain went to our country to they lived here for like I think 500 years. So it's let's talk about that, and because it's a long story, so it's really interesting, but
Very
we can talk
interesting.
about that.
¿Tú hablas
Yeah,
español?
can talk about that another time. Hmm?
¿Tú hablas español? Do you speak Spanish?
No,
Oh,
we don't speak Spanish here,
oh.
but I like to learn.
Please, let's do it together. I mean, I speak a bit of Spanish, but I happily expand my current knowledge.
We have a lot of words here in the Filipino words that are similar to Spanish because they came here for 500 years and we adapted some of their lifestyle, language, and even the looks. We look a bit Spanish here. Okay, so I told you that I have a video editing agency. I have 3 clients I'm working with, and there are incoming prospects, potential clients that I'm confident that I will sign them. I also have people working with me as a team. So I have editors and I have one project manager, and right now I'm in an office and I'm gonna start like looking for people who can work here. And honestly, those clients are not, they are big clients and they pay well, but I want to grow my income 10 times or even 100 times. So do you think as an agency, as a video editor, I can sign a client for $30,000 to $50,000 a month?
Yes.
Do you think it's possible if I have good sales skills, or if I have a good is it possible to get someone to pay me? Like I think I don't I don't know anyone who pays like $50,000 to a video editor. I haven't seen anyone. So do you think it's, yeah, let me know your thoughts.
Well, me neither. I personally say that simply being a video editor or an agency at the beginning, it's quite hard to get to 50,000 a month. And usually, um, uh, companies, as far as I know, don't work with generally 50,000 a month, but they work project wise, you know? So company goes to an agency, says we need edits. Let's do a contract for about a year, and we get to a fixed price. Mm, but I'm very confident that it's definitely possible to get clients for 50,000 a month. But you need to look for the packaging. So I have a question.
Packaging.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a Louis Vuitton bag or jacket? What's the difference between a Louis Vuitton jacket and a casual non-brand jacket?
That's a great question actually. So from what I think, they're both the same type of jacket, maybe same looks, maybe same quality, but I think it's about how they branded themselves. Am I right?
So what's
It's
branding?
it's in the branding. Branding is like, it's like a definition of who you are and what you're about. So like just like us on X, we have a brand, so it defines who we are, our personality, what we do, how we write, like how we post, how we engage. But for a Louis Vuitton bag, maybe a jacket,
One word. Story.
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 Yeah, actually.
It all revolves around stories. And with story, I mean, I think it was the famous marketer Rory Sutherland who said, things are not as you think they are. No, wait. Yeah, things are not as they are as you think they are. What that means is that a jacket is basically a jacket. If it has an
Yeah.
LV print on it, it has an LV print on it. But when you see that jacket and stories pop up in your mind of you walking down the street and people look after you, friends are writing you, oh my God, this jacket is beautiful. And you get on Instagram and get thousands of likes, and the people, oh my God, you're so pretty, this is wonderful, yada yada yada. That's the story being told. It's the experience that people have. It's the lifestyle that they're looking for. I
Yeah.
mean, and that's the same with any with every brand that exist out there in the world. I mean, for example, when you look at Apple, have you ever been in an Apple store?
Yes.
You might have recognized that there there's a, a big space between every phone. Have you recognized that?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
because it creates scarcity. It gives the person who walks into the store the feeling of it's a singular, very unique item in the store. Maybe you've also recognized there are almost never same colored items just next to each other. So the person gets the perception of what
Yeah.
they are getting is a very unique piece of art. And it's the luxurious one, the quality one. But if you think about iPhone, I mean, as far as I know, it contains the same rare metals and technology as other phones. I mean, probably some
Samsung.
Xiaomi's, yeah, probably some Xiaomi's have better technology. I don't know, than iPhones. But the iPhone, I mean, we record this on a Mac. I'm filming here on an iPhone. It tells the better story. So to get back to your question, if you want to earn more, tell a better story. And that can work through a visual setup on social media, but that can also work through talking to people. I mean, another like if you think about it, when I was ringing at doors, I had about 10 minutes time to tell a good story that persuade a stranger to give me their bank card number that I would fill into an iPad, and that would then make them donate money every single month. It works through stories and obviously packaging them in a persuasive way. But if you ask, can I make 30, 40, 50,000 a month? I can say absolutely, if you say the right story.
Yeah, everything's possible.
And I mean,
So yeah,
when I think about an editor who works for Hollywood movies, I can imagine that they get way more than 50 grand for that.
yeah, it's very possible. And like you said, story, right? I created the tweet back then. I said that storytelling is the most important skill in personal branding, and I guess I was right.
I mean, storytelling
So yeah,
is personal branding or branding. It's kind of the same. Like branding
yeah,
originates from storytelling. I mean, even I, with the jacket I wear, the shirt that I wear, the jewelry that I wear, I am telling a story.
I have another question about like this is actually one of my favorite topics ever. I always want to talk about this kind of stuff. I've watched this on podcasts, read this on books, and this is my first ever podcast, and I'm gonna post this on YouTube. And in the future, I have a great vision for this YouTube channel. A lot of people from the Philippines, because that will be my main audience, they will see this podcast. So we are exchanging value, and you're really a valuable guy, and they will watch this. So I want to know your thoughts about. I know you didn't go to college. I want to know your thoughts about like the education system, because here in the Philippines, it's like the main thing. People think that the education system is the only way to get to the top. So here in the Philippines, if you don't have a degree, they will most likely look down on you. So I'm not sure if it's like that in your country, but what do you think about the education system? Is it needed in
Well,
order to be successful?
lot of ideas. First and foremost, yes, it is exactly the same in my country. I would say there's maybe a bit more of self-liberation that people have and more of a mindset towards you can build something by yourself. But when we think about going to college, what are you going to college for? You're going to college to get a degree in order to get a good job. What does a great job gives you? It gives you education, it gives you status among your peers, friends, family, whatever, and it gives you money. So you have basically three resources that you want to acquire through a university degree, which is education, status, and financials. There may be more. These three are the ones that I have in mind right now. Okay, education. There's there are a million ways to self-educate. Um, the good thing that you have with university is that they provide you with the information that you need to learn. And another good thing is you have a teacher, you have someone who who provides a service of making it easier for you, and you have peers, you have other students who can learn with you together. The issue, you'll only learn what they want you to learn. So when it comes to is it necessary to go to college? No. Because the one pillar, which is education, you can happily do yourself. And when I say educating yourself, I don't mean that you only read books or watch courses. That's not how it works. You need to learn and apply. The good thing is, if you do it yourself and you build a habit out of it, you're probably 1,000 times better than university. Because I have friends who go to university who learn economics, learn marketing, and I don't want to like flex on here, but the stuff that they learn in the first semester is stuff that I had to do within 1 week in startups that I worked at. So I wouldn't necessarily say that education-wise a university is bad and that the education that they give you is bad, but I would say that they make you stagnant, they make you slow, and they give you a false perspective on the world, and it's very singular. So you learn one thing that everyone else is learning, and there are no extra skills. The problem is, I think Andrew Tate talked about this, the inflation of education. Let's say you have a market, and on the market are 10 companies who are looking for people who studied economics. The more people who that go to college, the lower the amount, statistically or on average, of people who are good in economics. So if 100 people are studying economics and they apply on 10 companies, 10 out of 100 can get a job. Yeah? And there's probably some good competition because you have people working against each other. But if 100,000 people are learning economics, they're not more companies just appearing out of nowhere. So I would say self-education is definitely given. In the beginning, it's definitely harder, and it's harder for you to find peers who will learn with you together and actually apply it. But if you surpassed it, you have an extreme advantage on the marketplace over the people who are educated. So that's the educational part. The status part just comes with the point when you are educated. Like when you are educated, and the money part that is that I'm going to talk about in a minute. Status in front of your family, in front of your friend, it just comes automatically when you are at a point where you are so educated that people think, oh my God, this guy's a fucking genius. You don't need to be a genius, but if you just know good things from 3 different topics beside that one thing that university educates you on, trust me, it's quite interesting about the status thing. And especially about the financial part, because financials do automatically come if you put the education into action. For everyone who's watching right now, you cannot make money if you don't take action. Never. None. Zero. Nada. Niente. If you don't write that post, if you don't talk to people, if you don't create that product, if you don't execute, no way. You will stay broke. You can be the most educated person in the world, you will never make money. So when it comes to money, and that's the most interesting part, people have this very closed view, the very closed vision of what it means to become financially independent. Then the question is, what is money? What is the thing that you really, really want? What is that? Do you know what money is?
From what I learned from podcasts, money is actually just a currency. It's an illusion that is created just by humans. In the past, people used to exchange different types of values. So it's not just money. And our ancestors used to, like for example, if they want to get that for example, they want to eat that deer or something, they will exchange it for, if they want something else, they will use that deer and give it to another person in exchange for something they want. So money is just created as a currency, as an exchange of value.
Exactly. Um, Let me wrap that up very, very shortly. So, as you said, exactly, we had bargaining a few thousand years ago. So basically,
Yeah.
let's say I was making carpets, and you had a farm, and you were selling cows. So I'd come to you, I'd say, Shyrel, you want a carpet? And you were like, sure. Do you want a cow? And I was like, oh yeah, I want a cow. But a week later, I come to you and I say, you want a carpet? And you were like, no, I don't need a carpet. So I have an issue. Or you want to come to me, do you want a cow? I was like, no, I don't need a cow. I just had a cow. I don't need a carpet. Thank you very much. And the idea of money in the first place is to have a universal exchange currency. So what they took was gold in the beginning. Gold was rare and it was precious, yeah, and scarce. So you didn't have a unlimited supply of it. So what they did, they exchanged gold for goods. The problem with gold was that gold was heavy. So if you were selling a lot of things, you were acquiring a lot of gold. And if you wanted to buy something big, it was hard for you to just get this huge amount of gold and bring it somewhere else. So what they did, I think that was with the beginning of the banks, is basically they said, we store your gold and we will give you a certificate of that you have the gold. And then people were starting to exchange these certificates of confirmation that they were actually having the gold. So money, and we can go deeper into this, but let's keep that for another day. So money is nothing else but a um, uh, universal piece of transaction. Yeah, we can take it to buy different things. So when people think about, oh, I want a great job to make money, they don't really get the meaning of money. Money is just is something for transactions. Let's do something imaginary here. I want everyone who's watching right now to close their eyes and to imagine themselves that they are on the Times Square in New York City. Yeah, they just stand there in the middle. I want you to look around. I want you to look around and look at the people. And now I want you to imagine one thing. Who of them has money in their pockets? Everyone probably. And I'm not saying a lot of money, I'm saying money. $10 minus $2,000, $1 million, it doesn't matter. Imagine, do they have money and how many? You probably come to a place where you say about 99%. And now, I'm not going to tell you to steal that money. I want you to ask you, what are they doing with this money? Shyrel, what are they doing with this money?
They're exchanging it for something else.
Yeah, they're buying stuff. Easy.
Yeah,
But why do they buy stuff?
because they need it
Because they
or
need
they
it.
want it.
They need it or they want it. Exactly. So everyone out there has money, and everyone out there, every single one, is using it to get stuff that they want or that they need. And if you want to make money, you need to find out one thing that people want or need, and then tell them that they can get it from you. So build something that they want, which is called a product or a service, and then go out there and tell them, hey, I have something. You should take it. It's good. And that's the place where education comes into part, because obviously there are lots of people who are trying to sell something or to provide a value for other people in order to get something back. Obviously you need to educate yourself on, but don't overcomplicate this. Business is nothing else than he has, I provide, no. He has money, I have service, he wants service, I want money. Thank you. That's it. So for all of you who think I need a college degree, no, you need to understand what people want and how to give it to them. And also, most of you might think now, but what do I have? there are 7 billion people on the planet and you have access to the internet. There's one skill or one service that you can provide. Even if you had guitar lessons for 6 months, you're probably good enough to provide online guitar lessons for 5-year-olds, you know? And
Actually,
there are a lot of 5-year-olds out there. Um, so yeah, that was quite a long take on university, but to be honest, university is, in my opinion, the absence of the knowledge that you need in order to start a business. So, like, if you don't know what you want to do with your life, go to university. But if it's money and status and education that you have, damn, do it yourself. Is it a bit harder in the beginning? Yes. Will it pay out higher? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
you
Go.
never went to college.
Never. I also had a bad school degree. Like in Germany, we have three different types of schools, like the main school, the middle school, I mean, by degree, a main school degree, middle school degree, and a high school degree. I had the middle school one. I need to go back to school if I want access to go to university. And I'm still making more money than, yeah, teachers.
Yeah, yeah. I went to college, bro. I wanted to be a surgeon, to be exact.
Which is
A
still a
heart
good
surgeon.
job.
Yeah, it's a good job. But on my fourth year, it's my last year in my pre-med. I discovered like making money online, and I've seen people who became millionaires here in the Philippines. So I looked for sources where I can learn, and I saw one. I got into the course, learned video editing, learned how to build an agency, and yeah, it's actually the best choice I did in my life, because I realized I just want a life of freedom. And honestly, if you're a doctor, you will not have like the freedom to do anything you want, because you would be just working in a hospital, which is a really, really great job. I salute to all the doctors out there, because they are like, they help people, they save lives. But it's not just for me. So I have a different purpose in life.
I agree. Shout out to every policeman, every firefighter, every doctor, every
Yeah,
garbage man, every soldier. You're doing a good
all of
job.
them.
All of you. It's not that what they do is bad and that going to
Yeah,
university is primarily fundamentally bad. It is that this is not the only option that you have in life. Yeah? So don't
yeah,
go out there and kick a policeman's leg because you don't think that they're bad people. No, they're very great people. And you should treat every person with respect. Still,
yeah,
there are other options in this life.
yeah. I have like a short message to people who are watching. So if you wanna be a doctor, or you have to go to university. If you wanna be a police, you have to go to university. If you wanna be a lawyer or something. But if you wanna be an entrepreneur, or people who just wanna do business, you can literally learn it from a lot of sources out there online, or from other people who are successful in business.
And I'd
So yeah,
like to say something especially there. If you want to be an entrepreneur, do not go to university because university,
yeah,
especially with entrepreneurship, will overcomplicate that process so heavily. I have a good friend, very good friend, very smart, way higher IQ than I have, and I have a high one. Um, and he went to university and he's overcomplicating business so much. He has so great ideas, but he's stagnating because he thinks he needs all the business plans, talking to VCs, talking to investors, set up a foundation. Yes, partly true. You need to set up a foundation, but the university will give you 1 million steps that you need to do before you start a company, which is just not fucking true. Like if you want to start a company, build a product and sell it. Done. Done. That's all of it. Build a product and sell it. And you can build a product in a week and start selling in the next one.
The formula is so easy, but the process is hard actually.
The process
But
is
when you
hard,
look at it,
but
yeah.
what is not?
What?
What's not hard in life?
Everything's hard, bro.
Exactly. So choose your heart.
I saw that tweet. I think you tweeted that, bro.
No, I didn't choose your.
No.
I mean, there are a million people who are tweeting that right now.
That's some great insights on the education system, and I really like what you said, bro.
Thank you.
We're on the same page. So, on our recent meeting, I think it's our last meeting when I was still not in this office, you told me you fasted for 5 days, which is
4.5.
really impressive. 4.5, and you on your fourth day, I think you worked out
I worked
in
out
a gym.
no, I worked out at the second and fourth day.
Second and fourth day without eating, just water.
Yeah, and broth. So just liquids.
I literally, you said it's good for the body, so I took your advice and I did it for a day, and I was really weak on my last hours in fasting, and I felt terrible. But after that, I felt great. It's quite hard, but I can manage. And I've also heard someone on X. I'm not sure if you know him. His name is Kevin Sabo. Kevin
Sure.
Zabo, I think.
Yeah, sure.
I spoke with him on a space, and he told me he's fasted for. He told all of us in the space he's fasted for 25 days, and that's impressive. He said it's for a spiritual. It's a spiritual thing for him.
Hmm.
That's why he fasted. And yeah, how did you feel on these 5 days? What do you think about fasting?
Well, it's a
Because I want to try it.
multi-level thing. Spiritually, it's one of the greatest things that you can do simply because. Let me first start about the mindset stuff and then about the physical stuff. Um, when you fast, you start to recognize how much thought process goes into the idea of eating, and how much of you wanting to eat something is not hunger but addiction. Because to be honest, in the whole 5 days or 4.5 days, I was not hungry at any moment. I just wanted to eat. I was kind of idiotic because I watched shorts about food, which was not a good idea. So maybe I would have done it even longer. Um, but you get to a point where you see that eating is mentally a huge distraction for you. So a lot of mental real estate and time that you use um, to to a lot of space that you use to think just revolves about eating and the pleasure of eating. And if you get into a state of fasting, you just realize that and how much it actually is. And if you surpass a certain time, you get to a place where um, your mind just accepts, or your mind and your body just accepts the state that you're in and goes far into other things, and that includes also a spiritual thing. Obviously, that just doesn't happen by default. I mean, there are atheists who are fasting too, but if you set your mind into a position in which it can process things differently in a fast state, it definitely works because you stop thinking about food at a certain point. And physically, it's insane. Yeah, I know why you felt shit on the first day. You will always feel shit on the first day because your body and all of your organs are basically screaming, "Where is energy? Where is food? We want to work." So you will have kidney pains, you will have terrible headaches, your energy levels are fucking low. But if you surpass, I think it's after 16 hours or 24 hours, if you surpass that, your body will feel different because it goes into a how's the English word? A state called autophagy. And autophagy, we know that for quite a long time from botanics, so basically the plant world. Autophagy is when your body stops getting new stuff in and starts to work on itself. So usually you eat and your body processes the food that goes through your body. But when you don't eat, or if you don't eat, your body starts to look at their own organs and looks for malfunctions or bad cells, and it's basically repairing your whole body for every single cell. And within a course of, I think, 4 days, you reset your entire emotion, your entire endocrine system, so your emotions or hormones. You reset your entire nervous system, and the healing that your body has is incredible. Like so many people preach that with regular fasting, you will have you can cure cancer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving medical advice here. I'm just saying what I saw on the internet. That you can cure cancer, autoimmune diseases, a lot of stuff because your body basically has a self-repair mechanism which starts by fasting. I would highly suggest that everyone who's watching will take more research into that because, like I said, I'm not a doctor. I'm just replying what I saw online, but I did it and it worked for me. And bro, I think it started after 24 or 48 hours. I was a heavy smoker, like for quite a while. I stopped a few months ago, and I had hard breath. So when I was breathing, it was very hard to take deep breaths for me. Yeah, that radically changed when I was fasting.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it like 1 day per month, maybe, for now. Because I really liked how it felt. I did like 36 hours.
That's great. Do yourself a favor, pick the easiest day. So if you have days where you are with your family, don't pick this day. Like pick a day where fasting is more easy. Just a day where you in general have so much work to do that you say, ah, fuck it, like I can fast that day. I will just I keep the focus on work.
Weekdays.
Weekdays, exactly. Take the fullest day where there's nothing, where there's no time for anything, or you take a day where there's nothing to do and you can go into the forest and I don't know, have a really spiritual experience. You can do that. But yeah, and also train yourself into it. Start with 12 hours, then 16 hours, then 24 hours. Like I didn't start with 4.5 days. I did 1, then 2, and I think after 2 I just went into 3, 4. No, direct into 4. And yeah, I think next week I will do another
We'll
fast.
do it again.
You want to do one together?
Bro, I can't catch up with you if you're gonna do 5 days, 4.5.
But
I
you
can
do
only
it-
do one, maybe.
You said 36 hours the last time?
Yeah, it's considered one for me because I didn't eat the whole day and I ate the next day. So I didn't, for example, I won't eat like tonight, it's nighttime. The next day I won't eat and I will eat only the next morning. So it's like 1 day, but it's 36 hours.
Let's do 48. I trust
48.
you. Yeah. Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, I can do that, but Tuesday, next week.
Monday and Tuesday. And then last time you eat on Sunday and next time you eat on Wednesday. It's not
Okay,
that
okay,
hard,
let
bro.
me try, bro. Yeah.
And bro, you can still drink coffee, but I can tell you, and that's one thing, be cautious because everything that you consume, everything will hit 10 times harder. So if you drink a coffee on a fasted body after 48 hours or longer, bro, it feels like you had a quadruple shot of espresso just hit in. Because basically your body, like when it's looking for nutrition and when it's looking for food and it's and you give it something, it will like grab everything. So also break your fast
It's
with
gonna
something
grab
very
all the
healthy.
caffeine.
Exactly. So be careful with
Yeah.
your coffee.
We're almost done with the podcast, but I have like one last good question for you,
Please.
just to end this podcast. What does your dream life look like? Like, do you want to be like all those famous guys out there, like Andrew Tate, Luke Belmar, all the great guys, like with a big name? Do you want all the fast cars, nice watches? Like, are you a material guy or like describe?
I do you know the moment when you're really vibing on music? I don't know, just by taking a walk or in the car, and you
Yeah,
have like these mental these ideas in your mind, the dreams, everything. You know that?
yeah. When I'm driving a car, I'm
So
thinking,
exactly, I have obviously the same, and in these moments, yes, I think about being a guy like Andrew Tate. Not directly like Andrew Tate because
yeah,
I really don't need 30 wives. One is enough for me. Or like look them up. But yeah, I want to have I want to let's say I want to experience that. I want to experience Dubai, rich life, driving Lamborghinis and so on and so on. But if you ask me what is my dream and what creates literal joy in my mind more than anything else, do you know Indiana Jones?
yeah.
I want a life like Indiana Jones. Adventures and
Adventures.
going out there into the world, seeing new places that have never been seen, excavating tombs in Egypt, going through the rainforest, finding new stuff.
Bro, that's fun.
Like
That's fun.
I really want to do that, but I gave myself one core rule. I don't want to do that, come back into life and be a brokey and would need to start again. Therefore, I said all the gratification that I want from this life, I will delay and I will focus first on building financial stability for one, the process of living that life, and second, if I come back, I can start a family without financial issues. So basically, to be honest, the money making process that I do right now is not really for me, not only for me. Primarily, it's for the idea of having a family at some point and being able to provide on a great level.
You're a great guy, bro.
You too.
We almost have the same type of life, so you wanna know mine?
Please, please.
Yeah, so yeah, like you, I like adventures, like traveling the world, going to different places, experiencing new things. But the picture that I have on my mind right now is like being financially free. Actually, I want the nice cars. I want the nice watches. I'm
I
actually
and
like
that's not that's not bad, bro. You can want that. That's all right.
I'm not working for mainly that. I want a life where my family is secure. They're living they're living like they're in paradise or something, and I want my future sons and daughters to have a good mindset. I just want a life of abundance in all aspects. Like, yeah, a life of freedom where you can do anything you want. You can wake up anytime you want. So that's why right now I'm working hard. Just I'm sacrificing even my sleep sometimes just
Don't
to
do that.
make this work.
Don't do that. Don't sacrifice
Yeah,
your
I know.
sleep. I like I know it's hard for you, especially since you live in the Philippines and connection to clients is heavy, but do
Yeah.
yourself a favor, never ever neglect your sleep. Never. Have an 8 hour sleep. I can tell you the output that you get from sleeping well and a lot, the leverage that you have on the work that you actually execute is so much higher. And if I understand you correctly, you want to sell the big contracts.
Yeah, of course.
If you want to get into a business meeting and you don't have a fixed sleep schedule, forget it. Like I can tell you from experience, yes, you can still close there. Obviously, you can close deals in any given situation, 100%. But the advantage that you have when you had a good night's sleep is miles ahead.
Your mind is in good condition.
Trying my best. Good sleep, lots of water. Don't drink tap water.
I don't drink tap water.
Have you seen the
Just
hype
like
the hype on X
Elmer said,
recently about this blue bottled water from this morning routine stuff? The black guy who showed his morning routine? No,
not
bro.
yet.
The guy there was a guy on X I think he's a life coach, and he just posted his morning routine and got like 600 million views. And
Wow.
he was drinking some Saratoga or Saratona is the name of the brand. It's like a water brand, and the water brand literally went viral from that.
Bro, someday we will have a podcast face to face, not like this.
Bro, we said
Maybe in
we
another
said
country.
August in Hong Kong. We said it.
Hong Kong, August.
It's
Hong Kong?
5 months
Do you
left.
have other choices? Taiwan or Hong Kong? Those two are good.
Rather Hong Kong. I
Hong
mean,
Kong.
we can meet wherever, but I think it's a good space in the middle.
Yeah, Hong Kong.
Nice.
I don't want to go to Singapore because I've been there.
No problem.
Yeah, we should work hard.
Bro, I'm working very hard. Working very hard. By the way, can I make some ad here?
What?
Can I advertise on here?
Of course, yeah, before we end this podcast, tell them where they can contact you on your socials, and yeah, you can advertise anything.
Great. So if you want to contact me, there will obviously be a link below. But on X, my handle is at Oskar Meister. And yeah, if you need any type of help, reach out to me. I help people to sell more contracts for higher prices on a longer scale. And for those who are interested in getting started into sales and learning how the fundamentals work, on the 17th of April, I will launch my very own school community, which will include a 5-step process coaching in which I perfectly explain with all the information and all the knowledge that I have how to execute any sales call that you have and how to close, how to up your conversion rate a lot. That includes a 5-module coaching plus 1 coaching per overview, 5 ebooks, and also in the future, for those who are interested, I will include everything that is in regards to AI agents and AI automation, that is in regards to sales, so automatic lead lists, automatic DMing, automatic contacting. All of that will be included into the school. It will start at the base price and will be at this price until the very time, you can see that in the description of the school community, that I will add the automations, then I will increase it.
This was a great podcast, man, and it's a great first podcast.
100%,
And
100%. I
I'm not
hope
gonna
you will.
forget this.
I hope you will use the green screen and beam me on the moon.
Oh, you want that?
If you want, I can. No, I don't care. You can do whatever you want.